so cute. I was looking at you, buddy. Hey, look over here. Say hello. Oh, the Olympic lifts. So simple, yet so difficult. The Olympic lifts to me are a work of art that often leave me crying in most of my sessions because I'm like, this is so simple. This could be so simple. This bar needs to go straight up. You need to go straight down. Whether it's a snatch, a clean, a jerk, the bar needs to travel in a straight line because it's the shortest distance. And your job is to use all of your big, strong muscles to direct that bar all the way where it needs to go. Then after that, we're pulling ourselves down to receptions where I'm super strong, rock solid. It's that simple. Straight up, straight down. So why is it so complicated? When we're beginners, we should be simplifying what's going on. And then when you get reps in, time in, and start getting to the nitty-gritty of these lifts, there's so much happening and so much that can go wrong. But we're gonna talk about something really, really important today. And I think one of the more complicated things that people have a hard time grasping. Hip contact. Getting the bar up to your hip crease or at the top of your legs, because this is the most powerful lever in your body. It's surrounded by the strongest muscles, the biggest muscles in your body. So why don't we use those to lift big, heavy bars? Over my years of Olympic lifting and training these lifts, there's been a handful of things that have really narrowed this video down to 3 things to be exact that have helped me really understand how to get the bar to my hip crease where it needs to go, this high hang, vertical jumping position. I'm gonna do all of that showing you guys in the snatch grip today. At the very end, I wanna go over what it looks like in a clean grip because in the snatch, it most definitely has to. Cleans, I'd prefer it to. Some people are a little bit shorter, not quite as high in that hip pocket, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. When I wanted to do this video, I also remember I had posted a series of heavy snatches that I did on my Instagram, and I didn't put any audio over it because for Olympic lifters and weightlifters, the most beautiful sound in the world is hearing that bar and those plates click up. Then you hear those plates ring again as you go to your reception. It's a beautiful noise. It shows the timing of hip contact, receiving the bars, and basically what you're hearing is the plates go up, and then as you're receiving the bar, the plates kind of snap back into place. There was a comment on there that actually said, you're hitting the bar too hard on your hips. And I was like, well, not really, but I think what we need to talk about in this video is how hip contact doesn't mean I'm launching my hips towards the bar to create this rainbow effect and which sends the bar up and over my head, and that obviously is not gonna work. We want the bar to go straight up. I pull myself straight down into my reception to create that beautiful lift. Yes, I do not want to be hitting my hips on the bar and thrusting that bar forward because that'll create a big rainbow effect. Creating these good lifts does mean the bar is making contact with my hips. It does bump into my hips, but then my hips and the mechanics and the things that we're gonna talk about are gonna send the bar upwards. The bar is gonna make contact with my hips, and you will hear, especially if you have little metal change plates on there, you will hear the bar ring a little. Number 1, the transition from the knee to the hip to get from the hang position to the high hang position. This is where people get tripped up all the time. They're like, coach is telling me to get the bar to my hip crease. How do I do that? Do I pull with my arms? Do I send my hips towards the bar? When I clear the knees, I'm staying over this bar right here. Hang tight on that cue too. I'm staying over the bar right here. My shoulders are on top of the bar right here. And how I'm gonna move this bar to my hip crease is I'm gonna start tilting my shoulders back or reclining my chair until I get to a vertical jumping position. This is the position we're trying to get to. This shoulders on top of hips, legs loaded, ready to explode and push hard through the ground to extend and elevate the barbell and send all that power upwards like a rocket ship going to the moon. First cue we need to really hone in on is I recline my chair, peel those shoulders back until the bar gets to my hip crease. Y'all see this movement right here? I'm not pulling the bar into my hips with my arms. I'm not rocking my hips forwards into the bar. My midline is staying strong and tight. I'm peeling those shoulders back, and if my hands are sitting in the right place, especially for a snatch, that bar gets right into my hip pocket. But what goes with that next is how do we keep the bar super, super close to my legs or dragging my legs? Thing number two, actually something that took me way too long for me to figure out. I knew as an athlete that I struggled to stay over the bar because I typically am a little bit weaker at pulling off of the ground. Like deadlifting is not my jam. Squats, lunges are more my jam rather than pulling the bar off of the ground. So I always knew I struggled with what we call staying over the bar. Now, staying over the bar means my shoulders literally leaning more over the bar in line with like the tops of my shoes. I'm trying to stay balanced through my feet, but getting this big stretch on my hamstrings rather than picking your shoulders up, missing that hamstring stretch, and not like leaning over the bar. This will affect your transition from the top of the knee to the hip we just talked about, because when your shoulders are already sitting back behind this bar, you kind of have nowheres to go besides rocking in your feet or sending those hips forward by rocking into your feet, which then creates, once again, that pushing the bar out and around and that big rainbow effect. We got to do more pulls. We got to strengthen our posterior chain and get really good at pulling heavy things off of the ground. But it really started coming together when I started focusing on pressing that bar hard into my body and engaging my lats. Pushing that bar in tight to your legs looks like this. When I clear the knees, my shoulders are sitting over that bar. I'm pressing that bar in super tight. Notice I'm here. I'm not sitting back like this. Pressing the bar in tight, if I wasn't using my lats, the bar would naturally want to hang right under my shoulders. So it's my job to push that bar in super tight. A drill that really, really helped me, exaggerated snatch deadlifts that focus on sending your knees back, 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 pressing the bar in tight, and exaggerating staying over that bar right here. Now, I would say when you get really comfortable with your Olympic lifts, we don't want to wait too long, too far to where they're almost straight right here, because then you'll be rushed and have to swing those hips forward right here. But you should be feeling a good stretch right past your knees and then holding right here. So I did a lot of drill work or heavier snatch deadlifts where I was working on pushing those knees back, and I only stayed at a weight that allowed me to push the bar to where it was touching my legs. If it got so heavy to where the bar was floating out here, that was too heavy on that drill work. When I do that successfully in my Olympic lifts, I'm set up in a good position to then recline my chair. That bar is still pressing in super tight, and bam, I'm right back to that high hang position. The third thing I'll leave you guys with is what we talked about at the beginning of this video. We're sending everything straight up. We're that big, strong, powerful rocket ship that's driving hard into the ground, so everything else goes straight up. When I make that contact at my hip crease, and I'm doing a good job of finding vertical, bar is pressing in tight, and then I send everything up to the sky by pushing everything straight down, you'll be lifting in what I like to describe to my beginners, between those panes of glass. There's a pane of glass right here. There's a pane of glass behind you. Everything's got to go straight up, and then you got to pull straight down into your reception. That power you just built up, all of your strength to be directed where we want everything to go. Straight up, and then from there, I'm pulling to my receptions, whether it be a power or a squat. I'm so glad I put this barbell here because all I need was this PVC. And all you need to do is practice with a PVC or an empty barbell. Lots and lots of reps right there. I did tell you guys I would talk about a little bit in the clean grip. The other beautiful thing about Olympic weightlifting is every body is a little bit different. I'm separate those words. Every body is different. Some people have longer arms, shorter arms, different levers and everything. So what I did and what helped my cleans a ton is slightly widen my grip because I have longer arms, and then just make sure I knew all of those pieces and parts that went along with those snatch mechanics to get the bar all the way up to my hip crease. Most people should not have to widen their hands too much to get that bar a little bit higher up your legs, but they will have to put some extra exaggeration on lats, 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 lats. These guys are engaged to pull that bar up into your hip crease to create contact at the hip. I'm a big fan of people that make that hip contact on cleans. It has to happen on snatches, but also cleans as well. I told you guys, these can be so simple, but there's so many moving parts to them too. That's what makes them so fun. So I hope this helps you guys. Blitz, you got anything? Cool, thanks bro. We'll see you guys later. Peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, bye.